So today is the second Field of Dreams game ever. If you guys don't remember last year, it was one of the best baseball experiences I've ever seen on television, and tonight it comes back. What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. The Joey Gallo redemption campaign is officially back on. Nolan Arenado went off versus his former team, the Colorado Rockies, and the Guardians, they're trying to get in first place over the Twins. Now, before we talk about any of the big league games from yesterday, I have to talk about this minor league player, Chandler Redden, because I can't remember the last time I've seen this, if ever. He had a home run cycle. So he had a 2-run home run, a grand slam, then he had a solo shot, and then he finished it off, his 4th home run of the day, with a 3-run home run. So he had the solo, the 2-run, the 3-run, and the 4-run, aka the grand slam. One of the greatest offensive performances in the history of baseball. Speaking of the history of baseball, Vaughn Grissom, who is definitely not related to Marquise Grissom, as I stated yesterday, I am stupid, he is definitely not related. He became the youngest player in AL and NL history to hit a home run and swipe a bag in his major league debut, and yeah, he did not miss that pitch. Imagine being able to say that not only did you hit your first home run at Fenway, but it completely left the ballpark. Now, today's recap is going to be a little bit different because we're not going to talk about every single game because there are so many storylines and topics to go over. So right now we're going to kind of group together two different teams, the Yankees and the Dodgers. Why? Because the Dodgers are 8-0 since trading for Joey Gallo, and the Yankees, they dropped to 1-7. Even though Judge hit his 45th home run of the season, which is very nice, but then Carlos Santana, he snatched the souls straight out of the Yankees' chest. The Mariners win 4-3. Now if we head down the coast, we go from Seattle to Los Angeles. My friend Joey Gallo socked a baseball the other way for a massive 3-run home run. The beard is back, which means that his powers are back. Now, he talked after the game how great the LA fan base has been, and also he talks about how great it is not having to shave. And to me, he just sounds like Joey Gallo again.
But what was it like for you to hear them chanting for you as you ran home?
Yeah, it's been a while since I heard people chanting for me, so I'm pretty excited about that. They've been awesome so far, like just cheering me on, saying that they love that I'm here, and it makes me feel good.
You feel more relaxed now that you can grow the beard out?
It helps not having to shave all the time, for sure. Yeah, it was always tough to okay, but I think it was good for both sides, you know, just because you know, it was the best opportunity for me and for them. They got a great all-star outfielder to play in my place, so never have any hard feelings about that. I didn't do my job up to my abilities.
So now I have to pose the question, who is the best team in New York? Is it the Yankees or is it the Mets? The Mets have now won 6 games in a row after Frankie Lindor and Vogie made the Reds see stars. They knocked them out in a 10-2 blowout. The Mets, they are playing like world beaters right now, and honestly, I feel like they're going to match up against the Dodgers in the NLCS. And if it's not the Mets, I mean, the Braves have been playing really well. Obviously, the Dodgers have won, I think, 9 in a row or something crazy like that. 10 in a row, I believe it is, double-digit wins. Who's going to come out of the National League? So like I mentioned, the Dodgers have won 10 in a row, just ahead of the red-hot Phillies, who were able to take down Sandy Alcantara and the Marlins for their 7th consecutive dub. So I'm going to show the wild card standings as we showcase some of the highlights from that game, because the Phillies are looking filthy, and they don't even have Bryce Harper yet. So if you're looking at the standings, if the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs as of right now. Now, speaking of the playoffs, the Guardians are trying to get in first place in the AL Central. I love being in the Central because it's so bad. J-Ram and Will Benson, they got it going, as the Guards, they ultimately ended up with 3 runs, and this is where it got scary. James Karinchak, he loaded the bases, but he struck out rookie Kerry Carpenter in his MLB debut with the bases loaded, and James Karinchak went crazy after that. He is so much fun to watch. He's a fantastic watch if we're talking about television numbers. Emmanuel Clase, he came away with his 26th save, lowering his ERA to 1.32 and propelling the Guardians to first place. Come again, we are the youngest team in MLB. I say we because I'm a Guardians fan. We didn't have a single significant free agent signing or trade deadline acquisition. So the fact that we've used 14 to 15 rookies, we're the youngest team, and we're somehow in first place, I mean, tip of the cap. But before we move on to Nolan Arenado facing off against the Rockies, I want to talk about the wild card standings for just a quick second. So yes, the Twins dropped out of first place, but they're still just one game back up, not only first place and the Guardians, but the AL wild card spot as well. The Orioles are 1 game ahead of them, so it is going to be a wild, mad dash to the finish in terms of the wild card and a couple divisions across the game of baseball. Nolan Arenado and Albert Pujols teed off versus the Rockies yesterday, and it must have felt especially good for Arenado considering considering it not only was against his former team, but the guy they traded him for, Austin Gomber. Yeah, you have Nolan Arenado and Albert Pujols going back-to-back in the 6th inning, and St. Louis is looking mighty after having a pretty solid deadline. Quintana was good yet again. The Brewers, I just want to mention, they won yesterday courtesy of a Willy Adames walk-off, so nothing changed in the standings. So that's another thing that we're going to have to keep in mind for the rest of the year. Who's going to win the NL Central and who's going to be in the wild card because they lost the Central? But because we just talked about the Cardinals and the Brewers, we have to talk about the San Diego Padres, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Brandon Drury and Aaron Nola, they both went yard, giving San Diego a big-time win, and it's huge because if San Diego had lost, they would have been tied for the wild card with the Brewers. So again, I have to ask, do you like the expanded playoffs? Do you like the fact that there's 4 or 5 teams in contention for the wild card, as well as a few divisions across the game of baseball? To me, I know a lot of people were hating on expanded playoffs when it first came out in the CBA negotiations, but now that we're seeing it live in person, the fact that the Orioles have a chance, the fact that the Padres and the Brewers are all going to be in it, whether they win the division or not, to me, I think that's good for the game. I think more people watching and more fan bases in the playoffs, that's great. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're not going to talk about every single game that happened because I do have a 1-of-1 Grady debut to do. That will be up later. I cannot wait to record that. We're going to talk about a few players that are breaking out, Leody Taveras and Luis Rengifo. Taveras, he went off for 5 RBIs yesterday against the division rivals, the Houston Astros. He is continuing his breakout 2022 campaign. He has a 120 OPS plus and a near 2 WAR in 50 games. That is pretty solid. Luis Rengifo is also breaking out. Man's had 3 RBIs in yesterday's 5-4 win over the Oakland Athletics. He's now hitting .301 with an 810 OPS over his last 23 games. That is really good. I hope that he can keep it up going into 2023. And also, I just want to mention, the Angels, they've been playing a little bit better as of late. If they somehow are able to catch fire because of the expanded playoffs, I think they're within 10 games. They might have a chance. That's going to do it for today's recap, everyone. And before we show the web gems, I do want to remind you guys that I grinded for almost 48 hours to get this 1-of-1 Grady. So we will be debuting him later. Make sure you guys have your bells turned on. And without further ado, thanks for watching and enjoy the web gems.
And this one well hit center. Victor Robles. Oh, yes! To his right. To the ground.
Full extension. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. No. Ground ball back toward the middle. Stop, diving play. Gets to his feet. Has time. Throws him out. It was a really good play.
A really good play.
Arenado. Foul territory. Back to the infield. Oh, he made the catch. What a...
Line to left. And a diving catch by Tucupita Marcano.
To center field. Riley Green dives and makes the grab.
These are hard. I mean, it's right at him. It's not to his right or his left. And I just love the concentration.
Hard hit. Gonzalez leaping.
Wow.
What a play. Hit the wall pretty hard.
A fantastic jump.
Bregman's going to cut in front of Pena, make the backhand play. Alex Bregman showing off the D.
Trying to get his body in position to go towards first base, but watch his hop as it comes back and bounces.